What is going on? What is poppin' YouTube world? My name is Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. I appreciate you guys for watching this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right about now, as it does help these videos get out to the public and my channel to grow overall. Subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly, not once every single day if I can, and turn on post notifications too, so you do not miss a single one of those videos that I post. It's only right, you guys. So I'm going to preview and break down the 2 college football playoff matchups, as well as the other 4 New Year's 6 bowl games. So I'm going to preview pretty much all the New Year's 6 bowl games in this video. I'll give y'all predictions and scores and all that good stuff. So let's get right into it. Best game of the New Year's 6 bowls, and arguably the best college football playoff game, in my opinion, Ohio State versus Clemson. I went back and forth with this, but I got to go with Ohio State. I think they're going to win 30 to 28. Listen, guys, this is going to be a great game in my opinion. I don't think it'll be a blowout. These are 2 really complete teams. These are arguably the 2 most complete teams in college football. And these are the teams that have the 2 best point differentials in all college football right now. And to me, these have been the 2 most dominant teams in college football. I know Clemson has not necessarily played anybody, but guys, watch them play. They are definitely a top 3 team. Now, the reason why I'm going to pick Ohio State to win, Clemson is a 2-point favorite, so I don't think Clemson will cover, just because I don't think they're going to win the game. I think Ohio State wins close. Listen, Clemson, they've not been tested, and that concerns me. Now, some could say Ohio State has not seen Clemson's speed. I agree. However, Ohio State has been battle tested. They've seen Wisconsin. They've seen Penn State. They've seen Michigan. They've dominated all of those opponents, guys. And listen, I will say this about Ohio State. If I'm an Ohio State fan, Clemson's offense is going to worry me, because Shea Patterson, Cone, the Wisconsin QB, the Penn State QB, they're not Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has been on an absolute tear the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. This guy has been great, and I do believe Justin Ross and T. Higgins are NFL wide receivers, and Clemson's offensive line and wide receiver core, as well as their running back group led by Travis Etienne, is really good. They're legit. So Ohio State has not faced a quarterback of this caliber. They faced good offensive skill players, but not of Clemson's caliber. However, I do believe Ohio State has the defensive backs. I do believe they have the defensive line to match up well with Clemson. And to me, Jeffrey Okudah, Shaun Wade, Damon Arnett, if there's a group of quarterbacks that can match up with Clemson's wide receivers, and if there's a pass rush that can get home to Trevor Lawrence and win some one-on-one matchups up front versus Clemson's offensive line, Ohio State is one of the few teams that has those players. And I do believe that Chase Young is going to be the difference in this game. Chase Young, just his impact alone, guys, is amazing. He's going to be arguably the number 2 overall pick, potentially. I think the Cincinnati Bengals will take Joe Burrow number 1 overall. Whatever team selects next, I do believe they will probably take Joe Burrow. Maybe the Washington Redskins got a Dwayne Haskins jersey on right here. Shout out to Dwayne Haskins, by the way. I feel like that if Ohio State wants to win this game, Zach Harrison and the other players up front, not Chase Young, are going to have to make plays, because Chase Young, he did not have any sacks versus Michigan, and he didn't have any sacks versus Wisconsin. That was mainly due to the fact that he was pretty much triple-teamed and double-teamed the entire game. However, I do believe Chase Young, Justin Fields, that running attack for Ohio State is going to be the difference. If Clemson's going to win this game, they need to stop the run. They need to stop the run early, and they need to score early, because if you score early and stop Ohio State's run and make them one-dimensional, you can beat them. Justin Fields has only thrown the football 31 times. The most Justin Fields has thrown the football this year is 31 times. Ohio State, they don't like to get in a shootout where they have to throw the ball consistently. They like to run the football on J.K. Dobbins. They are undefeated when J.K. Dobbins rushes for over 100 yards in his Ohio State career. So that's very key. I think Ohio State's just the better team. I've been saying for weeks, this Ohio State team is better than the 2014 Ohio State team, and they will beat Clemson 30-28 in an absolute classic and a shootout. Now, LSU versus Oklahoma in the Peach Bowl. Oklahoma is a 13.5-point underdog. That's pretty crazy to me. I think they'll cover that point spread. However, I don't think they'll win the game. I think that LSU wins the game 40-30. And LSU to me is just the better team. LSU was able to lay hands absolutely on the University of Georgia. The last time we saw them, Georgia got absolutely destroyed. I thought Georgia's defense was one of the few defenses that could, you know, at least limit Joe Burrow to some degree in that offense with Jamar Chase and all those boys. And it didn't happen. They won that game 37-10. That's very key because LSU on all season, they struggle on defense at times with consistency. However, that was their best defensive performance of the year. Now, some people could point to the fact that, you know, Georgia's offense is not great, and I will agree. But again, guys, Georgia still has some athletes. They still got an NFL quarterback potentially in Jake Fromm. There is some positivity to be taken from there. But again, LSU's just the better team. I believe they're going to win by 10 points at least. They've beaten Alabama. They've beaten Auburn. They've beaten Florida. They've been battle-tested. Oklahoma's best 2 wins of the season are Baylor twice. Baylor is not anywhere near LSU's caliber. Now, I do believe Oklahoma at some point in this game will have it close. I believe Oklahoma, if they're going to win this game, they have to run the football effectively. And I think they can do that because they have a solid offensive line. You know, they have a good rushing attack. Jalen Hurts is a great dual threat quarterback. He's one of the better quarterbacks in college football. And CeeDee Lamb is the best wide receiver in college football. Him and Derek Stingley Jr., that's going to be a matchup I'm going to be so excited to see. The freshman quarterback from LSU that's really, really good, Derek Stingley Jr. versus CeeDee Lamb, arguably to me the best wide receiver in the country. So Oklahoma, we know they can score points. You know, however, I just don't think that Oklahoma defensively is going to be able to stop LSU. Oklahoma's defense has improved, but it's still not great. And they're going to be without Ronnie Perkins. He's definitely a key guy up front that they rely on to rush the quarterback. He's going to be out for this game. That's going to be a very key thing. Now, Oklahoma's defense, like I said, it's not very good, but it's improved. You know, what Oklahoma defense is going to show up? Is it going to be the Oklahoma defense that, you know, play well versus Texas Tech, versus Texas and Oklahoma State and Baylor? Or is it going to be the bad Oklahoma defense that showed up in the first half of the Baylor game, in the game versus Iowa State, in the game versus Kansas State? All those games, they struggle. To me, I feel like it'll be somewhere in between, but either way, it will not matter. LSU, Joe Burrow, that great offense. LSU seems like they're destined to make the national championship game this year. I have them winning the game 40-30. Yeah, they'll win by 10 points at least. I don't see any way LSU does not reach 40 points at some point. Unless Oklahoma controls the clock and runs the football and keeps Joe Burrow off the field, I don't see a situation where Oklahoma can compete in this game. They cannot get into a track field and a shootout passing the football with Joe Burrow and LSU, or else they will get blown out. Now, the Rose Bowl, I believe Wisconsin is going to win this game. They're favored by 3, and I think they will win by 3. To me, they're the better team. You know, I understand Wisconsin did lose to Illinois earlier in the year, but guys, that was mainly due to the fact that I think they were looking ahead to the Ohio State game the very next week. They've lost to Ohio State twice. They competed in the first half of the first game in which they played Ohio State. They were in the game. They had Ohio State on the ropes in the Big Ten championship game. They've been battle tested. Wisconsin's physicality, I think, is going to bother Oregon, and their ability to run the football will be able to keep Justin Herbert and that Oregon offense off the field. Their defensive line is very good. Their linebackers are really good. They can get after the quarterback. And we've seen in the past, when you pressure and get home on Justin Herbert, he at times makes bad decisions and inaccurate throws. Justin Herbert's a great quarterback. He's going to be a great NFL quarterback, in my opinion, depending on where he goes. I do believe quarterback success is determined on the system they're put into and what team they actually go to. You know, are they going to a stable organization? I think, but either way, bottom line, Justin Herbert, NFL quarterback, got a great arm. Oregon's offensive line is very underrated. I don't love their wide receivers, however. I do think their running game is very good. However, I just think Wisconsin's the better team. You know, Oregon was able to put it all together versus Utah, which is great. But again, I just don't see Oregon beating Wisconsin. I understand Wisconsin's favorite for a reason. They're just the better team. I think Jonathan Taylor will go off. And I think that Oregon's wide receivers cannot exploit Wisconsin's secondary, and I think that's the difference in the game. I believe that Wisconsin will run the football, they'll play good defense, they won't turn the football over. I think that Justin Herbert and this Oregon offense is very inconsistent, and if Auburn beat Oregon, I think Wisconsin's going to beat Oregon, because I think Wisconsin's the better team than Auburn. They'll win this game, I believe, 23-20 in my opinion. Okay, Wisconsin over Justin Herbert and Oregon. Now, Baylor versus Georgia. I don't think that Baylor has enough offensive firepower and the depth to compete with a team like Georgia that's filled with 4 and 5 star level players and 4 and 5 star athletes. I got Georgia winning the game 24-17. Now, Georgia's offense is not great. Jake Fromm has really regressed. I don't think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback if he enters the draft. Andrew Thomas is going to be out for this game. He's not going to play. DeAndre Swift, however, is going to play. He's not made a draft decision yet. At least that's what I last read. I could be wrong, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But either way, DeAndre Swift, as from what I know, is playing in this game. I just think Georgia's the better team. You know, they've beaten Auburn, they've beaten Florida, they've beaten some good teams. Unfortunately, they fell to LSU. Their offense has been inconsistent all year. That's why I think they're not going to score over 24 points in this game. But Baylor offensively has been very inconsistent. You know, they at times struggled in the Big 12 title game to score points, even versus Oklahoma's defense. So Baylor, they're a great story. They're a great team. I do think that, you know, Georgia being the Sugar Bowl, they learned their lesson from last year, not taking Texas serious. They will take this Big 12 team serious, and they will beat Baylor 24-17. Now, Penn State versus Memphis in the Cotton Bowl. Now, I think that Penn State, they're favored by 7 points. I believe they're going to win by 10 points, probably at least. I have them winning this game 27-17. I could see Penn State scoring somewhere in the 30s, but again, I'm going to give some respect to Memphis. Memphis is kind of inconsistent. They're a good team. They only have 1 loss on the year. That was to Temple, at Temple, I believe. However, I just think Penn State's the better team. You know, they have lost to Minnesota and Ohio State. 2 pretty good teams this year. 2 top 10 teams easily. Memphis does love to run the football, but again, Penn State's defense is pretty good. They're one of the more complete teams in the country. They're one of the 8 best teams I've seen this year so far. Memphis did struggle to beat Ole Miss. They struggled to beat SMU, and they did beat Cincinnati twice, but Cincinnati, they only beat them by 10 points and 5 points the second time. So again, I think Penn State's just a better team. James Franklin has this team well coached and well prepared. I think they're going to make up from last year, losing a bowl game to a basketball school in Kentucky. They'll win this game 27-17. Florida versus Virginia in the Orange Bowl, the final New Year's Six bowl game I'm going to go over. Again, I think Virginia's a good, solid team, but they're not the Florida Gators. Florida, to me, is going to win this game. Virginia, to me, just does not have the speed and the athleticism to keep up with a team like Florida, who has athletes all over the field. You know, Florida, they've lost 2 games to Georgia and LSU. Pretty good teams. 2 of the top 5 teams in the country. Florida always has an NFL defense. That defense is loaded with NFL players. They have a great pass rush, great secondary. They run the football. The offensive line is very underrated. And Kyle Trask is getting better week after week. I gotta give a shout out to Dan Mullen for really helping out Kyle Trask and developing him. They lost Felipe Franks midway through the season. They have not looked back. I think Florida dominates this game. I think they're going to win this game 34-17. They will cover the spread as they are favored by 14.5 points. So, hey, there you have it. That's my predictions for the New Year's Six bowl games. Be sure to comment whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Love to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. A fun fact about me is I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world. I want to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. Kind of like Colin Cowherd, Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharp. You get the point. Okay, I want to do sports, television, and radio for a full living once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. So the best thing you guys can do to just help me continue to grow as a young broadcaster is to just share this channel with all your friends, because potentially if this channel really gets somewhere, I want to start my own network, okay? You know, or potentially if it doesn't, you know, or if I fall a little bit short, I want to go into a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. So the best thing you guys can do to just flat out just help me grow as a broadcaster, help me learn, you know, get other people hip to this channel, you know, just share this channel with all your friends, share this channel on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. Also, be sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. And once again, guys, just share this channel with everyone you know. Get everyone hipped and watching these videos. Get my voice out there and heard. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, all that good stuff. It's been your boy, Ghiman Mckinney, or you can just call me Juice. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. I really do. Have a God bless day. Stay motivated, you guys, and I'm out.